5 years ago, I was in Scandinavia for 7 days. I remember it was the month of December, very gloomy weather. The day would not start before 10 in the morning, darkness would come like 3 in the afternoon. It was cold, wet and cloudy, no clear sky, no sunlight. I even forgot how a sunny day looks like. Very gloomy. And then, anyways, after 7 days I had to fly out from that town. So I went to the airport, I boarded my flight, I was sitting in my seat and plane started to take off and going up, clearing the clouds. In less than 4 minutes it was there. There's clear skies, bright yellow sun and a very clear day. And then I suddenly started laughing to myself. So the girl sitting next to me, maybe she thought that this is some crazy guy laughing. But yes, that was not a laugh of a crazy man. That was a laugh of an insight, a remembering that the clear sky and the sun is always up there. It is always there. We just don't see them because maybe clouds, they don't allow us to see, or we are facing in another direction. But the clear sky and the brightness of the sun is always there. And happiness is also like clear skies. It is always there. Unless the clouds of unhappiness, they don't let us experience that state of happiness. Otherwise, happiness is our base state and it is always there. So our job is not to go out and find happiness. Our job is to do something to clear those clouds of unhappiness. Hello, my name is Dhruv Mehta and I am back here again with you for the second day of our online intensive Ecology of a Happy Life. Our today's topic is needs, the things that are most important to us, the things without which we can't live. Today we will try to address two things. First, what are these needs and why are they so much important to us? And second, how can we identify these needs? Well, to know what are the needs, it would be easy to start with knowing what are not needs. I often meet people in my consultations, especially women, who would tell me that, I would love to live near the sea. I want to go to Spain and live there for the rest of my life, or Italy, or south of France. Well, to live near the sea is not a need. I want to be a millionaire is not a need. I want to have my own yacht is not a need. They may be values or they may be things that you want to achieve in form of dreams, but they are not needs. Needs are very simple things, so simple that we often miss them. These are the things without which we can't live. Well, actually we can live without the needs, but then our life will be a very frustrating experience. In some ways they are like values, things which are very important, but I would put them a step higher than the values. Values are the things which are important to us, while needs are the things which are so important to us that we just can't live without them. Some examples of needs would be, let's say, I have a need to spend some alone time with myself every now and then. Or for someone else, I have a need to communicate with people quite often during the day. Or for someone else, I have a need to rest. I have a need to love or to be loved. I have a need to touch or to be touched. These are very simple things. For example, I have a need to feel secure. So these are so simple things that we often miss them. And if not met, these needs, these are the ones, if the undealt needs are the ones which create the huge clouds of unhappiness, because of which we cannot see our natural state of happiness, the clear skies. So the clouds are formed basically because things which are very important to us, for some reason we are not able to get them or achieve them or to deal with them. Well, unfortunately, when one or another need is not met, it does not only create frustration in life, but it eventually influences all the areas of life. For example, this actually happened to me in April. In the end of April, I and a friend of mine, we were traveling through Austria, and we are going by car, and I was the one driving. So while we were on the highway, I noticed that there is some sound in the back of the car, and the car is a little bit tilting on the right side where my friend was sitting. So as soon as possible, we stopped on the service road, we took the car on the side, and we got out and saw that the back right wheel, it was punctured. Now, you all know that every car has 4 wheels, and only one of them was punctured. 3 of them, like 75% of them, were fine. They were absolutely fine, only one was punctured. But that one wheel, because it was punctured, it stopped the entire car. Now that is exactly what happens with our life, you know. When one or more needs are not met, it does not influence only that one area of life, but all other areas of life. Remember, I was talking about the trip to Austria which I took with my friend from India. So this guy, my friend, I know him for many years, and he used to work in a company as a marketing person, and he loved his job. He would go out, meet people, and talk to them, and his strength was that because he loved talking to people and communicating with them, he was genuine about them. So he would make deep personal relationships with customers, relations, not relationships, but relations with customers, and that would reflect in his sales. So he, over a period of time in his company, he became a star sales guy, you know, and he was awarded the best sales guy from his company throughout India. And last year, because of some great performances for past few years, last year he was promoted and he was made the head of the department, and he was given an office in the company with a big cabin, new well furnished cabin. And that is where all problems started happening to him. You see, the new work required him that he would sit in the office and every day make strategies and plan for the entire team. He would lead the team, he would direct them, this is what was required for the new job. He had to tell them what to do and how to get things done. Instead of he himself going out and meeting people and building relations with customers, he had to simply direct people to do that. So after a while, like sitting in the office, working with the computer and documents, it gave him frustration over a period of some time, and eventually he took this frustration back at home, and he would be angry on his daughters and wife, and then not sleep in the night, and again next morning go to the office with the same mood and not enjoy. But I know his friend from last 25 years, and I know he is a very well aware and a conscious man who is always observing himself. So in less than 2 months he figured out that the problem is for him it is so important to go out and meet people directly, to come in contact with the customers directly, to explain them about the products and to tell them the benefits, and then to sell them, and to come in contact with so many people and to move around in different places of the town, or in different towns or in different countries. That movement was so important that his frustration is because now, being in a new air-conditioned office, he is no longer able to have this opportunity to go out and meet people. That caused him frustration. So he realized this thing, and after some introspection and talking with his bosses, is it possible to change department or not, which he found that it's not possible. So eventually he quit the job that he was doing and started his own business, and that is the reason we were traveling, we were trying to connect with new customers and new clients in Europe for him. So it was during this trip, so I think you see my point. My point is that when one particular need or a couple of needs which are very important to you, if you're not able to do something about them, then it will eventually influence the entire life. So it's very important that we realize this thing and we try to do something about them. But the first step is, you see, my friend, as I said, I know him, he's a very aware person, so he's very self-observing. So the first step, if you are not observing, you will not be able to know what are your real needs. You will simply, I know many people, they all the time are unhappy and they are complaining about life, but they're complaining because they don't know what are their real needs or what really matters to them. So the first step is to identify what are the needs, the fundamental needs without which you cannot live your life. That is the first step. I'm sure you must have had similar experiences where you could not meet a particular need of yours, and that eventually disturbed all areas of your life. Did you have similar experiences? Well, that happens to all of us. So that's not a big deal. The good news is that there is a solution, and the solution is in 2 steps. First, identify your needs, and second, do something about them. So then the next big question is, how do you identify what are your fundamental needs? You see, when you see a crying baby, babies, they cry when something is wrong, something that they need very much, they are not able to get it. Maybe the baby is hungry or thirsty or sleepy or simply bored. But babies cry when something very important to them is not happening. We also cry. Just our cry is not the cry of a baby. We cry in a different manner, in the sense that we feel frustrated, we feel helpless, we feel angry. But all these things like anger, frustration, helplessness, these are the cry, these are our declaration that something is wrong with me. There is something very important that I want, which I am not able to get. So, how do you find what are your needs? Next time, when you feel any of these feelings like frustration or anger or helplessness, that's the great opportunity. Start there. When you feel these feelings, take some time aside. If possible, go to a different room, or if you can't find any other place, go to the washroom and spend some minutes there. Take that opportunity. Instead of trying to create a lot of new stories around that event or that moment when you're feeling bad, sit with closed eyes and imagine that your anger or your frustration or that helplessness is one end of a string, like a thread, right? So this is the outer end which you are holding your feelings. Now the process is, with the closed eyes, imagine that you are following this string, this thread, where it goes deep inside you, and follow this feeling from where it is coming. Go to the source of the feeling. But that is only possible when your mind is calmed down. If your mind is rushed with so much of information or so much of stories and emotions, it is cloudy, and then you will blame the world, you will blame people around you, you will blame yourself. But that's not the real cause. The real cause of frustration is there is something you want which you are not able to get, and that is possible to see. That is at the other end of the string. The one end of the string is the filling, the other end is the cause. So in order to get to the other end, sit with closed eyes, simply follow. You can ask yourself this question: why am I feeling this unhappiness, or why am I feeling this frustration? What is it that I need very much, or what is it that is very important for us which I am not getting, and that is why I am feeling this frustration? So these two questions, they are like, they will kind of they will point you to the source, the other end of the string, where the need lies, where that's some simple thing. And in most cases, those needs, there will be some very simple things, like maybe you're not getting enough rest, or maybe you're not getting attention or love, or the opportunity to love someone. So these are some very simple things, but it is important that you identify them. And once you identify that, note it down, that I need this, I am unable to get this, and that is why I feel this. So can you make it in these three formats? I need this, I am unable to get this, and that is why I feel this thing. So do this every time you feel frustration or helplessness. Over a period of few weeks or few days, you will start noticing that there is a pattern. Some of the needs, it is the same need which gives you different feelings, but sometimes you are frustrated, sometimes you feel helpless, but eventually it is the same one particular thing that is giving you this thing. Sometimes you will notice that few of the needs, they keep on repeating, like as a pattern, like in a day 4 or 5 times you feel different emotions because of that particular need. So notice the pattern, notice which are 5, 6 or 7 of your particular needs that are causing the trouble for you. Now, here's the thing about needs, and it's a beautiful thing. Once you know that something is absolutely important for you, you cannot act against that. What I'm trying to say is, for example, you know, in India we have the fan on the ceiling, right? Because it's very hot, so we have the ceiling fan. So nobody goes with their finger and put the finger in the ceiling fan, because they all know that when you put your finger in the fan, it cuts and it starts bleeding. So when you know something with absolute certainty, you cannot act against that. The same thing is with our needs. When you know that you need something absolutely, you cannot live without it, then you have no option. You will act upon that. But the reason most of us do not do something about needs, I would say there are 3 reasons. But the first and the most important reason is we are not aware of our needs. So the process which I just described, taking time out for yourself whenever you feel some unhappiness creeping up, and then following it to the other end of the thread, to the source, that process will clarify your needs. Yesterday we talked about slowing down. So slowing down, or to be slowed down and live in a state of slowed down, is supposed to be your natural your state all of these 40 days and even after that, because that will calm the mind down, and in that case it will be very easy to follow this string from the feeling to the source of the feeling. So that addresses the first cause why people are not able to fulfill their needs, because they are not aware. Now you will be aware of your needs. The second reason why people are not able to deal with their needs is because quite often there are multiple needs. For example, there is a need for security. You want to feel secure, but then there is a need for doing something which forces you to go out of your comfort zone. Now these are 2 multiple needs. Then there could be another need. So there are 3, 4, 5 different needs, and usually what we do is we try to fulfill one need at the cost of other needs, and that is what creates imbalance. So imagine the situation is like, suppose you have 4 children. Okay, now they are all of different age, a couple of years of gaps between all of them. Now remember, all of them are your children. Okay, so you are responsible for them. Now the first one tells you that mama or papa, I want to go to a cinema. It's a weekend, it's Saturday, so he has the right, he can ask you, you are free and at home. The second one says that, no, mama, I want to go to the amusement park where there are these merry-go-rounds and fun activities. The third one says, no, I want to go to a restaurant. And the fourth one says, I don't feel like going anywhere, I want to stay at home. Now, if you have 4 children of your own and all 4 of them ask different things, what would you do? Would you listen to one of them? Because if you do that, if you listen to one of them, the other 3 will make your life hell. Just try to do that. Take all of them to the amusement park, the other 3 will make your life hell. Or take all of them to the movie, the remaining 3 will make your life hell. So when you have, if you have multiple children, you cannot simply listen to one of them. You have to negotiate, you have to find a deal between all of them that, okay, fine, maybe today we'll first go to the amusement park, then to the movie, and then to the restaurant, or today we are not going anywhere, next week we will go here and there. In any case, I'm not saying you have to fulfill each one of the child. What I'm saying is you have to deal with each one of them so that you must address all 4 of them. You must create a balance between all of them. Now, your needs are your children. It's like when you have a child, you can't act as if it does not exist. The child, if you act as if the child does not exist, it will make your life hell. It will cry, and not let you be at peace at home. So you have to deal with the child. Now here, what I'm saying is, your needs are your children, and once you have them, you have no option. You have to deal with them. And well, there are maybe only 4 children in the example I'm saying, but when it comes to needs, there are not only 4, there are many of them. And most people, the biggest problem in our life is not that we are not dealing with our need. We usually deal with our needs, but we deal with one of the needs at the cost of other ones. It's like, out of the 4 child, one child is hysterical and making huge cry, so we give him what he wants and we don't look at the other 3. That is what we do in real life. We are dealing with one need at the cost of other needs. So this is the second cause, that when we have multiple needs, we are not able to deal with them. But the solution is that you have to find a balance between all of them. And then the third cause why people, in spite of having needs, they are not able to deal with the needs, is because when you know something is important and yet you don't do, that is because some fear, some form of fear is stopping you from achieving what you want. And the rest of our days together, we are going to address different topics and different themes, and one of these things will definitely be about how to go beyond fear, how to do things which are important for us, or achieve things which are important for us, but we are not achieving them because some fear is stopping us. So we will deal with that thing as well. But our today's focus was about how to identify the needs. I believe that the process of following the string will help you. You can alternatively also take time out for, let's say, 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening. Sit with closed eyes. When you sit with closed eyes relaxed in one place in some kind of a meditation. It is not a meditation, but as if you are meditating. And simply let the mind have free run. Let your mind run as it wants. Just observing it. When you do that, again, that is a process where you will kind of, after some settling down of thoughts and emotions, you will start seeing things as they are, what are the most important things. So that's why meditation or sitting silently is very important in the Eastern culture. It lets you see what really matters to you, your needs, your fundamental needs. Well, I began today's topic with my experience about flying out of Scandinavia. I was mentioning about the flight, where I remember the insight that the sun is always there. We just don't see it because of the clouds. So I would also like to end with an insight from flights. I'm sure all of you have already been in flight several times, and every time just before the flight takes off, there is always an announcement with security demonstration where the stewardess, she will show you about the oxygen masks dropping in the cabin in case of low cabin pressure. And what they say, first put on your mask and then put the mask on your children. What I am trying to tell you is that identifying your needs and fulfilling your needs is also the same. First put on your mask, first identify your needs and fulfill your needs, then go out and help the world. Anyone inherently unhappy with themselves, simply trying to do things for the children and the family and the husband, is not going to help you. First put on your own mask, then put the mask on your child or your husband or your family. With that, signing off for today. Let's meet tomorrow with a new video. Thank you very much. Have a great day.